welcome in our cocktail club. Hi, Vita. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dorothy. Hi, Kevin.
In the spirit. Hola.
That's a beautiful baby,
Hi,
Kevin.
everybody. Give 1 more minute for a couple people to show up. Make sure you got your kits handy. I see some limes cut. Good prep work over there. This is great. If you didn't get the kit, no worries. You can still follow along, and we're going to teach you how to make this amazing riff on a margarita called a Diablo del Pueblo. Cool. Looks like we've got most of our.
You got the spice, you got the bite, you got it all.
I'll just start out by saying this is definitely interactive, so don't be shy. Feel free to take yourself off mute to talk to us, ask questions, ask us to slow down or speed up or take a shot. Whatever is your fancy today. It is Cinco de Mayo. We are celebrating. We are going to post this on social media, but we're doing Margarita May at the Battery. So we are kicking off summer and we're going to have margarita specials all month long. So come and see us. And I'm really excited to pass it over to Carlee and Jared, our amazing bar team. They're going to take us through this. They're both bartenders in all areas, but I believe they're going to be in the Musto and or the library when we reopen. And some exciting news is we're going to reopen the Musto bar on Tuesday, May 11th. So snag your reservation and come check out what we've been working on. It is a reimagined Musto bar. They have some really exciting new cocktails, a totally new experience. So we're really excited to show it to y'all. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Carlee. We're going to drop recipes in the chat, so be sure to check that out there. And let us know if you have questions. So I'll let y'all take it away.
All right,
awesome. Thanks, Colleen.
Thank you, Colleen.
Hi, everybody. We're going to be making a really fantastic cocktail that Jared and I created last week. It's called the Diablo del Pueblo, and it'll be a spicy take on a
classic margarita. So we're going to be using 4 different kinds of liqueurs and alcohol, as well as a house-made ginger syrup that you guys all probably already received the ingredients for. But
and fresh squeezed lime juice.
Absolutely. So without further ado, have you guys all unwrapped your cocktail kits? Do we have everything that we need? We're going to be using a blender. We're going to be using a cutting board, a cedar plank. It all should be there.
Vida, do you have everything you need?
We got all the goodies. If you don't have a blender on hand.
Blender threw everyone off.
Yeah, blender.
Okay. If you don't have a blender, we're also going to teach you how to make it without a blender.
Yep.
But a blender is best.
And if you don't have a blender, you'll just need something to muddle with.
A wood spoon also, in case you don't have a muddler, is something I use at home, just to really compress whatever ingredient I'm using. To begin with, should we get going on this?
Yeah, let's start with the syrup.
The syrup right away. So if everyone could grab their ginger that they have, that we sent to you.
Everybody have ginger?
About 6 ounces.
Should be 6 to 7 ounces. I will be using a peeler to peel this, but if you don't have a peeler, and personally I prefer it more, is a regular spoon, just a metal spoon. It really creates a good way to remove all of the excess skin on top of it. So this is going to be a bit of a process, so I'll let you guys start getting going on it, as will I.
All right.
Yeah. If there's any pieces that are a little tough to peel or get around, you can always just cut up the ginger as well and peel those larger pieces.
Breaking it apart, it's encouraged. Whatever makes it easier.
Ooh, let me grab the big bowl. I'll help you out with that.
And if you didn't get the cocktail kit, and you don't have enough ginger, or you feel like you don't have enough ginger, we will teach you how to adjust the recipe by using the intense ginger liqueur that you got. You definitely have enough. But ideally, you want to get most of your ginger flavor from the fresh ginger syrup that you're making.
And if you did get the cocktail kit, we are going to be making a fair amount of ginger syrup, and this is a really, really cool ingredient to use on other cocktails as well. Yeah. Spice up a gin and tonic.
You can make a Moscow Mule with it.
You can even make a penicillin, which is a little bit more complex, but you know, if you have some scotch and some Islay, it's very, very doable.
And in case you're wondering, we are recording. We'll share it with everybody afterwards so you all can make this again. Your kit should have plenty of cocktails, so you can have your own margarita May also.
So let's see. Oh, it smells really good.
Oh, it's spicy in here now.
It is.
It is spicy in here.
How far along is everybody with their ginger?
We're working pretty fast, so we can definitely slow it down.
I'm just concentrating on not cutting my finger at the moment. So.
Yeah, this is definitely a drink that if you have an extra pair of hands in the kitchen, it makes it go by way easier.
Like,
I don't know if anyone has some children.
I don't see a
that are
Greg
doing
there,
homework,
but
maybe we
Greg
can call them
Brockway,
out.
that's a two-person team right there.
I mean, this is a good excuse for your child to stop doing homework maybe and come help out in the kitchen.
I think that's
We have a junior all-star helping us out in the kitchen, but she's underage, so she's just watching.
right.
Well, she can help all the way until we get to the you know, the adults
Make a
rated
syrup
part of
or
it.
juice the limes.
She can make a ginger limeade with all
Oh,
this.
definitely, yeah.
I remember my grandfather said once I could hold the bottle, he taught me how to make a Manhattan. So it's just a little bit of information,
And here we are now.
and I haven't stopped.
Once you get most of your ginger peeled, we'll go ahead and cut it up into chunks. You'll want to set aside a couple slices of it though for the end of the cocktail. We're gonna do a little what is it, pyrotechnics with it.
So yeah, you do want to save some of your ginger pieces because we will be using that as a garnish.
Did everybody hear that? You got to save some of your ginger, just a small piece.
Just a couple little slices. I'll set these aside.
Let me get you a container.
Great. And actually, with those two little pieces, there should be a little ramekin of overproof rum in your kit. What you'll go ahead and do is you'll add that overproof rum to your slices of ginger, and you can let that sit. We'll be using it at the very, very end, so you want it to kind of absorb.
That's the one.
Absolutely. We're going to be using the overproof rum because it is quite flammable. So you know, definitely be careful where your stove top is. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know if everybody heard that, but you do have a plastic ramekin if you bought the kit full of overproof rum. Yeah, that's the one, Greg Brockway. And and you could stick your garnished ginger pieces in that and let them soak. And that is overproof rum, so it'll light very easily on fire. And that's what we want to do for the garnish at the end of making our cocktail. And if you didn't get overproof rum, sometimes depending on the bottle of tequila that you have, that may or may not light on fire. But it's also fun to soak it anyway in tequila because you're gonna get some of that. If we add a little bit of sugar on top of that, it'll definitely burn, and you get some of that tequila aroma coming out. And you'll see we'll smoke the glass at the end, and that's what you really want out of the ginger.
So did we use the spoon? I'm really curious if that.
All right,
works
let's
for you
see.
guys.
Megan, are you all caught up? Dorothy, are you all caught up?
Let us know when you're ready.
I'm not sure. I peeled the garlic and I'm
You peeled
slicing the
ginger.
lens. The ginger.
Right? Yeah. Okay, cool. So now that you've peeled the garlic, did you save a couple of pieces?
The
Or
ginger.
excuse me, the ginger. Oh, you got me. You got me, Dorothy.
Yeah. Well, they're still whole, so I need to slice them.
Just slice a couple pieces off of
Some
the
nice
ginger.
sized pieces, nickel sized pieces.
And do you have a blender, Dorothy?
Yeah, I do.
You do. If someone else doesn't have a blender, make sure you do slice the ginger up because we're going to teach you how to do it without the blender.
Like slice all of it?
Yeah, slice it. If you can mince it, even better.
Yeah,
If you have a blender, these chunks will work. And if you don't have a blender, then you'll want to get it almost like pretty much minced.
Can you put it in a garlic press? Will that work?
Yeah, for sure.
Garlic
Just make sure your
I
garlic
like it.
press doesn't taste like garlic because that'll
Oh,
turn into
Oh,
ginger.
yeah.
Who knows? Maybe we make a new El Diablo del Pueblo.
A garlic
little bit of-
ginger El Diablo. Mmm.
I can see that.
You know, it's Cinco de Mayo. Anything can happen.
Just add a pinch of salt, you're good.
All right. I'm just looking to see that everybody's caught up. So just give me a thumbs up when you're ready. That way nobody gets left behind. Got thumbs up from Greg.
Do we have people without a blender?
Yeah, Vita actually.
We can do like a little
Okay.
half and half.
Yeah, we'll
actually.
do a half and half. I'll show you how to make it in the muddling style, and then Jared can show you how to blend it up.
Thanks for taking the harder part.
Now, these. Your kit should have also come with just the perfect amount.
Hi,
of
Megan. Are
sugar
you all
for
caught
this.
up?
We're not sure.
Okay. What
Are there
have you done?
written instructions that we go along with?
Yeah, there is.
We've peeled a ginger.
I think
Oh,
the
great.
the link should be in the chat. I think.
I only see the syrup recipe in the chat.
That's what we're working on right now. We're working on ginger
okay.
syrup. Do you have a blender, Megan?
Yes, we do.
Okay, great.
Perfect.
So you're ready to start the next one. We're just making sure that everybody's caught up and we can move on. We lose a lot of people. We talk very fast.
We peel ginger very, very quickly.
I'm trying very hard to slow everyone down here. It's just, you know.
Look at Vida going with that knife. Jesus.
Skills.
All right. So for those of you who do have a blender, which sounds like I think three, Greg, you have a blender. Yeah. I haven't heard anything from Michelle or Sydney. Hopefully you guys have a blender. If you don't, we will do the ginger syrup, the cooked ginger syrup instead right after this. So let's go ahead with the blended
With the
ginger
blended,
syrup.
okay, fantastic.
Great.
So everyone has their blender ready. I'd ask for a thumbs up, but it's just the camera that I'm looking at. So I will be adding the ginger.
And for you folks at home, it'll be all of the ginger except the couple slices that
That
you
you
using
that
aside.
you
for
set
this.
aside in the overproof room.
Exactly. Your kit should also have the perfect amount of sugar for this.
Yep.
So you'll just take all the sugar that we've provided, except for a small pinch of it, which you're going to use at the end. So maybe set aside like a teaspoon of it. And the rest you can put directly into your blender. I'm going to save a little.
That was 7.
I'm going to save a little for the end.
All right, that should be about 7 ounces. Remember, we should be using measuring cups, not
Do
ginger.
do we use, sorry, my ginger's been soaking in the rum. Do I put the rum in the blender too?
You've been soaking all the ginger in the rum?
Yeah, was that the wrong thing to do?
You were making a better syrup than we are.
Yeah, wow. I wanna try that
one. Your syrup is probably going to last a lot longer than ours.
You know, fun fact, one of the liqueurs we're using, the intense ginger, that's pretty much how they make it.
Completely. It's soaked for 30 days in white rum before they bottle it up.
Right. But for this cocktail, you're just gonna need 2 slices soaked in the rum. The rest of it, you can just put right in the
So if you've already soaked the ginger, it's totally fine. Just add it to your blender and just remember to save a couple for your garnish. Okay, got it.
How much of the sugar do you remove? Just a pinch, you said?
Just a pinch. What we're gonna do at the end is sort of coat ginger with it, and then we're gonna flambe it. So we're gonna char some sugar on top of the ginger.
And the rest goes in the blender. I'm sorry, I'm kind
And
of.
the rest goes in the blender. No, that's right. No, you're absolutely fine. Please ask as many questions as possible. An hour is very hard to fill. So
It is. Please, don't hesitate to ask questions. really like that idea about soaking the ginger and
Yeah,
doing it
that's a
around the whole
great
time,
idea.
you
I don't
know?
know if
Yeah.
We should
might
have done
to try
that.
You know,
Yeah.
the best cocktails are sometimes just accidents.
Right.
Has everybody added their sugar to their
I think
blender?
I think everybody's in ready to blend. Is everybody ready to blend?
So we're gonna take 4 ounces of water. And I believe everyone has a measuring cup,
It's
jigger.
about
Yeah.
half a cup of water.
It's about a half a cup. Oh, the Megan, yeah, that sugar. Save a teaspoon of it and then dump the rest in the blender.
Great.
All right, I'm gonna take the 4 ounces of water, add it to our mixture. Spoon here.
And mix it up a little
Just
bit
mix it up a little bit so
so everything gets kind of
blend it in nice and well. Like I already have all the sugar starting to dissolve.
blender.
Now, see, right now I don't have the lid on. That's just gonna ruin this nice jacket that I have on. So I'm gonna come over here.
And Vita, in the meantime, while he's blending, for people who don't have a blender, you can add the minced ginger to a glass with your sugar. A little extra sugar right here.
All of it?
Or do you want to use
Am I all of it? It's a lot.
Yeah, all the ginger, except for your garnish.
Except for the side piece, the 2 pieces that we're leaving to marinate in the rum. Yeah, so I just didn't want to start this up because I'm gonna probably drown out all of the sound. So if anyone has any questions before I start this, please feel free.
A pint glass of ginger? Is that really the right amount?
Are you not using the blender? Are you using?
Correct.
Okay, you're not in the blender? Correct. Did you chop those, did you mince that garlic or is it still
Or
pretty
the
big
ginger?
cubed?
I mean, it's pretty tiny,
Okay.
like
that should
a
work. Yeah.
was, you know?
Matt, let me bring this closer to the screen. I don't know if you guys
About
can see.
12. It's about 12 tablespoons.
Mine's a lot smaller than that.
Yeah.
And so if it's already been stuck, yeah, a pint glass does seem like a lot, but we're gonna be making a fair amount of ginger syrup, so you'll be able to use it later on or whatever you'd like.
Am I gonna be able to muddle or whatever we're doing when it's this full?
You will. So what you're really doing is just mixing the sugar, the water, and the ginger together. In that separate little.
You should probably get a larger container, Vida.
After,
Like if you have a Tupperware even.
We have this.
Okay.
Oh
missed
yeah, see, she's got it.
I missed the sugar water situation though.
Did you add water yet?
No. How much water?
Just a little bit. What you're trying to do is just macerate. You're gonna macerate the ginger to start breaking down the fibers. Start getting that flavor into your water.
you guys are gonna love this syrup, trust me.
It's so good. It's great in baking too.
Glass full, maybe? All right. And then all the sugar minus a little bit.
Yes.
Correct. Just leave a little on the side.
Okay. Okay. All right. I think you can blend. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna start the blender up.
Wow, we have a really quiet blender.
These are very
Here, let me check it out. Just give me 1 second.
There it is.
That's a Vitamix, am I right? Probably just go for about 2-3 minutes. Still chopping up a lot of the ginger, if you guys can hear that. We want it to be nice and smooth, although when you're in this method, it's gonna be a little bit different. But I actually think that's gonna be more flavorful than the real. So how's yours going?
Mine's going pretty well. So if you're not blending it, the next step for the non-blended ginger syrup is you're gonna heat it. So you'll put it in a little saucepan and you'll bring it up to a simmer and let it sit for maybe a minute or two, and then reduce it
And Vida, you're doing a good job. I would just use that muddler that you had.
to really
Yeah,
press all
yeah.
the
Just be
ginger
careful not
juice
to
out.
break it.
Yeah, ours has a rubber tip on the bottom. So if your muddler is
There you
just
go.
kind of hard on the bottom, use a plastic container.
Cool. All right. And then for everybody that used the blender, are we caught up? Megan, do you have any
Do
questions?
you want to see the consistency that we're looking for?
Yeah.
So this is, I think, it's still a little bit thick. I don't know if you guys can see in there. Maybe, yeah, okay. So I think I'm gonna put it in there for maybe just a couple more minutes, just because I want it to be a little bit smoother when we're mixing. That way everything's nice and fluid.
Greg, you guys have any questions? Good. Dorothy, are you caught up? Have you guys tasted your syrup? A big part of bartending is tasting everything.
Yeah.
It's my favorite part, to be honest.
Good, good. All right. I think. All right. I think you muddling away there in the Vita screen. I think you're ready to put it in your pot. Do you find a stove top with
much
a
smaller pot than this, but
find a small pot.
pour it in.
All right. And some of you may ask, what's the difference between blending or cooking a syrup? The big difference is consistency. When you work at a bar like ours, you want to create consistency across the board. Meaning, if I make a syrup, it has to taste the same as if Carlee makes a syrup, if Jared makes a syrup. It's really important for especially for a bar with so many or different profit centers, or so many people coming in and ordering different things from different bars, for all the syrups to taste the same. So the way to avoid inconsistency is to avoid evaporation when you're making something, because the less water in something, the more concentrated the sugar content will be. So if you blend it, no evaporation happens. Maybe a microscopic evaporation happens, but not very much. Whereas if you cook it, as we see right there, you can see the steam coming off. That's all water leaving the syrup, and the syrup is going to be a little bit more concentrated. And if you overcook it, or if you cook it for just a little bit too long, the sugar starts to burn, and it creates a more burnt sugar flavor, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
It'll just cover up the ginger.
Exactly, and some people even like that burnt sugar syrup, and they flaunt it. But it's up to you. I find that if we blend it, we get the exact measurements. We get the exact amount of water we were expecting, and so therefore the syrup's going to be more consistent. And when I make a cocktail, it's going to taste the same as when Jared makes a cocktail.
Right. And so this didn't take any time to heat up. And so I brought it to a boil, and then I reduced the heat, let it sit for a second longer, and now I'm just going to pour it all back into a glass.
And so when you're blending it, you're gonna want to get this consistency of, it's gonna look just unfiltered. It's gonna be unfiltered, right? We're not putting a lot of water into it, so it's gonna be pretty not as pretty viscous, and it's gonna be thick. Has anyone tasted their ginger syrup yet?
I think they all said they did. Yeah.
Oh, they have. Okay.
Perfect. Vita, once you've heated yours and removed it, you can give it a couple more mashes just to get the last of that ginger.
Oh, Vida, you never put it in the pot, did you?
No, because it's so chunky still. I was still trying to.
Oh,
It's
that's okay. You're
chunky.
gonna strain it afterwards.
Okay, I'll pop it in a pot for like a minute.
Okay, yeah, for like a minute. You just want to get it hot enough for the ginger to soften and release more of that juice and the flavor.
Okay. Is bartending supposed to make you work up a sweat?
Yes.
But I'm doing it right.
That sweat means you're doing it right.
Let's see.
And tickets are still printing, right? Tickets are still printing. I like
All
that.
right. I think pretty much everyone has got syrup going. Avita, I think you got 2 more minutes till you finish syrup. Maybe while your syrup cooks, we can
We
start.
go
We
into
start juicing the limes.
juicing the limes. Okay.
Yeah.
Does everyone have their hand juicer available? The computer's nodding at me. Okay, great, wonderful.
So you'll you'll cut them in half, pop them in your little squeezer. I'll cut some for you.
Carlee's way ahead of the game here sometimes. If everyone's already cut their limes in half, and you're gonna want the little knobs on the outside, so just right down the middle.
Press.
And you see how he emptied the.
Turn it sideways.
You turn it sideways because a lot's likes to get caught up around the lime above it, and then it won't drain. And we need all our lime juice.
Squeezing fresh lime juice for each cocktail is the best way to make a
Oh,
cocktail.
it's so fantastic.
I love it.
Lime juice starts to oxidize pretty quickly. So if you're storing it in the fridge, it'll only last about 3 or 4 days with a tight cap. Before it starts to taste kind of funky.
Am I juicing all of the limes?
Let's see. It depends on how many cocktails you're making. I think if you're only making 1 cocktail, you can get away with juicing 2 limes. If you're making a batch, then batch maybe 4.
What kind of night is it going to be
maybe
tonight?
4 or 5.
That's what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah,
It is Cinco de Mayo.
It is Cinco de Mayo.
It's a Cinco de Mayo type of night.
I'm having tequila.
Vida, you should check on your syrup, make sure that it's not boiling.
And Vita, once your syrup
Okay,
is
good.
warm enough and your ginger seems kind of soft, you'll just pour it back into whatever you were putting it in at the beginning and kind of give it one more muddle.
Just
And
thinking
then-
about it now, don't juice all of the limes because we're going to need one of your limes to be cut into wedges.
Oh, yes, that's a good
Oh.
catch.
Okay, I think my heat was too low, so it's still gonna be a minute.
Okay, take your time, that's fine.
Yeah, no rush.
All right. All right.
Okay, we should start tasting the liquor.
Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. My
Oh, this
favorite
is
part of the day.
fun.
All right.
So a
Yes.
huge part of bartending is knowing the ingredients that you're working with and tasting them before you concoct something. So Carlee and Jared are going to talk you through the thought process behind the creation of the El Diablo.
Do you want to listen and then taste these weird liqueurs?
What's that?
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
If you've got enough small glasses, I love to pour all of my liquors out or liqueurs out just so I can just like pick them up and smell them and taste them like along. Sometimes it's you get a little tricky pouring them all one at a time.
It does, but I believe in everybody. We all
Yeah.
got this.
It'll be fine. We can start with our base spirit, which is going to be Pueblo Viejo. It is a traditional Blanco tequila. It's not aged, which is why it's clear. It's made by
Is
one
it?
of the oldest houses in Mexico.
In Mexico?
Jalisco. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, it's San Matias, I believe.
Same with these. This is still twice in steel pots. Pardon me. It's gonna have the aromas on it are gonna be very grassy, citrusy, citrus forward.
You may smell a little pepper. They use a really deep well. They use the water from a deep well, so you're gonna get a little minerality when you taste it too.
Does everyone have their Pueblo Viejo ready?
This is the fun part where you get to taste the alcohol, guys.
Wasn't as generous as I'd like to be to myself, but I am generous.
And we still have 3 more liqueurs to taste.
That is true. That is true. Thank you. So
Oh.
if everyone wants to get a nice smell of it. Does anyone want to point out any smells that they get from it?
Does it smell like tequila?
Does anybody want to give a breakdown of the aromas?
I'm taking notes, so.
I don't think they're gonna do your
Okay.
job for you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that I think you're gonna have to do it, Jared.
No problem, no problem. I knew it was asked of me.
And the finish on this is gonna be really long, so you're gonna taste tequila until you have something else.
It really like hits all of your taste buds. It's gonna
Sticks
take
with
over
it.
your whole mouth, but
In a good way.
The combination with the rest of our liqueurs is really gonna make this cocktail what it is. So
You may notice this tequila is also a little sweet, which is really nice, and it works with all the spice and all the citrus that we're gonna be adding. You wanna pour out the next one?
all right, I absolutely can. So our next one, I'm gonna go from right.
What do you
to
think, Greg?
Oh,
Pretty,
Vita,
pretty decent, right?
Vita, when your syrup comes off the heat, just give it a few more presses with your muddler. And then you can go ahead and just like strain out the ginger. You can like strain it into another glass. Like that.
You don't want to do this with the blended version,
Yeah.
because that unfiltered syrup is really gonna add to our cocktail, like a little
Exactly.
texturity and spice.
So just so you can see the difference, this is what the unblended syrup looks like, and this is what the blended syrup looks like.
I'm gonna have access to a blender tomorrow night and I want to make these for Dallas. Can I like reserve like half of this and then just blend it tomorrow and then just use part of it now?
Definitely.
Sure, yeah.
If you
Soak
save
it in
the
rum.
ginger,
When in doubt, soak it in rum.
if you save the cooked ginger that you used for your syrup, you can just blend it all together tomorrow cold and it'll be just right.
Okay, just blend it with the syrup that I didn't use tonight. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
All right, so our next liqueur that we're gonna be going over is Barrow's Intense Ginger. So we mentioned a little bit earlier about it, that the way they make it is they have the ginger steep with white rum for 30 days before they bottle it. It's from Brooklyn, and it's kosher.
Yeah.
Believe it or
It's
not.
kosher and gluten free is something they touted.
So it is going to have a lot of texture to it. So whenever you are going to use it, make sure you shake it up to get it as
Yeah,
clear as
it's
possible.
Because
Vida. It's the one on your right hand. The one on your right hand. Yeah, that one.
Smells like juice.
Sort of. Yeah, it should smell like ginger. It's not going to be as strong as your syrup, or at least the blended syrup. But
Is that yours?
what it does, it adds a kick to your cocktail, and it balances out the sweetness of the crème de cassis, which we'll get to, and the nixta.
Okay,
Yeah, because it's soaked in rum, it'll have an alcohol content, so that it'll bring a little more like bite to the cocktail, where the ginger syrup may just cover it up. This is just our extra way of doing that, and because it's aged and kind of fermented, it won't be your typical like spicy ginger flavor. It'll be more like an old-fashioned ginger candy. It'll be way more vegetal.
So everyone, they haven't yet already have a taste?
What do you think, Greg? Greg's already halfway through the tequila bottle.
Craig wants this and I need this.
Excuse me?
What was that? We didn't catch that.
He thinks this is good enough to just be the cocktail. He
Oh.
likes
It
Greg,
is.
my man.
You're hired, Greg. You're hired.
You can add this to anything. Like you can add it to
Ask
like
all my
a vodka
coworkers.
soda. You can put it in a prosecco to make your own kind of like ginger bellini almost.
I think it would go great in a mojito too.
Yes.
That would really bring out a
really good.
mojito flavor, nice on the beach. Oh, dreams.
What do you think, Dorothy? Did you find the right bottle? I didn't label them, so
Yeah, I figured out it's really, really nice. It's very,
yeah,
very elegant. I like it.
nice.
How
Cool.
strong is it? Is it like 40?
22%. So not crazy, but it'll get the job done.
It's like vermouth level. alcohol
Exactly.
content.
All right. Next one.
You want to hit up the
Yeah, this one's one of my favorites. Oh, I'm so excited about this one. It's called Nixta, and it's a corn liqueur. And this is from Mexico. It's from Jilotepec, which translates into, what is it? Corn Cob Hill?
Corn Cob Hill. Yes.
Yeah. It's northwest of Mexico City. But the corn that they use in it, they grow in Colombia, next to a volcano in like northern Colombia. It's called, what is the name of it? Novado de Toluca, I believe. And so it's gonna have like this really beautiful sweet corn flavor. It's gonna be an amber color. It's really gorgeous. I think that might be it.
That's the one, Greg.
And it'll have this like straw color almost. And just giving it a smell, you'll immediately smell the corn. It's gonna smell like fresh cornbread. It'll smell like hay.
I know you guys don't have this at home, but if you guys want to take a quick look at this bottle, it's literally a corn on the cob. It's based off of what it was, a 20th century
20th century vintage bottles that they would find at marketplaces around Mexico. Yeah, and this corn liqueur too, it's all corn. So it's distilled corn, and then they also make a corn gourd, which is kind of like the way they make beer. So they take the corn, it's macerated, it's mixed with a little bit of just water, and then they heat it, and then they press it, and all that juice that comes off of it, because it's been heated, it allows the enzymes to start breaking down the starches, and it generates sugar. And if you were to turn this into, let's say, a beer from that stage, you would just add yeast and then age it.
Wow.
But instead, they just make the syrup and add it back
And
in.
that's a different class.
Right.
Right, that's a
Yeah.
That's
That's the next one. We're going to show you how to make.
Just opening Pandora's box.
Kind of freaking out on this one. It's so good.
You like it?
I do. It's so complex and
I love it. It reminds me of tortillas.
Mhm.
Oh,
I just like that.
wow.
I like using this in old fashions too. If you add it to a rum.
now I taste tortillas. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, does everyone else get that too? Right when he said it, I was, oh. Okay.
Oh, I love this. I could drink this all day.
It's, when we were coming up with the cocktail, you brought up mixta, that was literally
Oh yeah,
one
this
of the
was.
missing pieces.
It was like the last puzzle piece of the cocktail. It because of all the vanilla and the caramel notes, it really rounds it out. So we have all this ginger and all this lime, and we have our spicy tequila, and we have the ginger syrup, and it just had too much bite. But when you add this in, it like
Mellowed it
rounds the
out.
edges. Yeah, exactly.
Well, now that we've gone from Mexico to New York, back to Mexico,
Right.
let's hop across the pond.
Now that the
over to
bartenders are
France.
drunk.
Ooh. So we're gonna go to France now, and here we have creme de cassis. I'm not sure if any of you guys know about creme de cassis. It's made in Burgundy, and it is made from black currant. It's similar to like a blackberry. Made back in 1841 when it first started.
Fun fact: the family that started this started as wine traders. And they tried to make a few wines, and apparently it didn't go over so well. And they noticed that liqueurs and like creme de cassis, creme de mure was like really taking off. So they decided to make their own brand.
You're gonna notice it's quite thick, like syrup.
It's very syrupy.
Don't worry, all the sugar won't give you too bad of a hangover. I promise. It's gonna be nice and balanced. So. Real sweet on the nose. You get a lot of that black currant coming out.
It's gonna be super jammy.
Greg, what do you feel about this? A little too sweet for you?
This is a little sweet, but I love the flavor of the cassis.
It's a great add to a lot of cocktails.
Oh yeah, you'll see it most commonly in Cure Royales. So a glass of champagne with a bar spoon of.
It's dessert, Greg.
It is dessert. That's why we saved it for last.
That's good.
I couldn't find what spirit it's set in, because they'll mash up all the currants and then they'll set it in a spirit to get it alcoholic.
Brandy.
It's brandy.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna guess cognac since a lot of the ones out of that region.
Thanks, Dad.
Great. Okay, now that we've tried all our ingredients, we're gonna show you how to mix them together into an awesome cocktail.
Absolutely. Does anyone have any questions about any of the
Oh, yeah.
liqueurs that they just tasted?
Where can I get them?
Let's see. Pueblo Viejo is pretty easy to get a hold of. You can find that just about any liquor store.
Wine.com is a
Yeah,
Is a pretty good resource. for
K and
that.
L.
K&L should have.
Oh, I
those.
love K&L. I have a delivery coming tomorrow.
K&L is a great source for some of the more rare stuff like Nixta.
They'll have that. Oh, okay.
I've
Yeah.
seen intense ginger at Bevmo before.
Yeah, intense ginger is pretty out there. Creme de cassis, there's a lot of different
Variations.
a lot of different brands that produce it. So you
Yeah,
can
it's
you know
better.
my favorite is
Edmund.
I like Giffard.
Giffard is really good, and I think Tempest Fuji does that, and they're from Switzerland, and they focus on really sustainable practices and organic products, and they don't use any like food coloring or any chemicals in anything that they do. It's really good quality stuff. Unfortunately, right now, it's really hard to get.
And then there's the classic. There's what, Chambord.
Chambord. You know, if everyone's recognized Chambord, it's that really small.
Chambord's
Brown.
Yeah, Chambord is framboise.
Thanks, Dad. He's,
The more you know.
The more you know.
They have those things now. That's all.
I don't know, this one was the-
Yeah, we don't have Chambord, so that's why we're a little rusty on it. So let's get into making our cocktail. Do we all have tins or
Something to shake with.
something to shake with?
I see Dorothy's got one. Greg's got one. Greg's prepared. It's not his first rodeo.
If you don't have a shaker,
Blair is
I-
encouraged.
And Vida knows what she's
If you
doing.
don't have a shaker, you
Ooh,
can use a
Vida's
mason
got.
jar.
Is that a European shaker? Look at you.
I don't know. It has a Strauss milk cap on it because the cap got lost, and my daughter like looked around and she's like, "It fits perfectly."
That's awesome.
Having one of those at home too. You just cover it with your hand.
Yeah. Right on. Okay, we're ready to build our.
Everyone's
cocktail.
ready? All right.
No, everybody has shakers. That's really
Yeah,
fantastic.
at least the ones that we can see.
Yeah, if you
Every-
don't have a shaker, mason jar with a lid, or I've even used a Tupperware container in a pinch. Just pop the lid on and give it a shake.
So let's start with adding our creme de cassis. So does everyone have their bar spoon, maybe? Now I'm stretching out to see what you guys really have.
Yeah, I just dropped the kitchen measurements in the chat too. So you guys do it with the ounces and bar spoons and stuff, and people can use teaspoons and tablespoons if they have those.
Thank you, Colleen.
For sure. Or if you're really fancy
Just
and
take
you
one bar spoon of the creme de cassis.
We're only using a tiny, tiny bit because you already saw how syrupy and how sweet it is.
It is thick.
It will overpower a drink really quickly.
Creme-
In it. All right. After that, let's go to our intense ginger. We're gonna go a ½ ounce on this intense ginger.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm confused with the measurements. I have my little thing that has tablespoons and ounces.
Oh yeah,
Those are those teaspoons? My glasses don't.
Teaspoons, yeah.
Oh, that's even
They're
smaller.
tablespoons. With the B, it's a tablespoon, Vita, and then the creme de cassis is half a teaspoon.
Oh my gosh, it's so tiny.
yeah, it's very,
Hey,
very
trust me,
little.
it goes a long way.
I'll drop in the
Ginger should
I'll
come out
drop in
to
the
1
ounces too. I'll drop in the ounces too, so you got those.
Yeah, the intense ginger should come out to 1 tablespoon.
All right, is everybody caught up? Oh, I see Dorothy just dropped it in. Greg's good. I think Vida's ready.
I don't know. What do we have in there so far? Creme de cassis, is that it?
Creme de
With creme de
cassis
cassis,
and intense ginger.
Thank you.
working for you guys right to left.
Who knows? I think it's mirrored when you do it.
Oh, that's right. Or-
Well, it's my first Zoom meeting, so.
All right. We all ready
So-
for the next ingredient?
I think so.
We're
Yeah,
gonna move on to
I'm getting a bunch of thumbs up.
the wonderful ginger syrup that we all just made. So, and that is going to be a 1/4 ounce. So 1/4 ounce is going to come out to a ½ tablespoon. Oh, it's thick, but it's beautiful. Something I also like to do, especially when we're using syrups that are thick like this, if you just don't wash out your jigger, just use the next liqueur with it. That way you're getting everything that you wanted to inside the cocktail.
All right.
I'll let you take over.
Thank you. All right. Once we've added the ginger, we'll go ahead and add the juice. And so we're using half an ounce of lime juice. Yeah, so that's another tablespoon. And we rinse all the ginger out.
Wonderful.
Fantastic. Go. All right.
After that, we're gonna
Once
go
we're into
over to
lime.
our Nixta or
Oh, we can
Pueblo
do-
Viejo. I'm
We'll
sorry.
do Pueblo Viejo. And for the Pueblo Viejo, we're gonna do 1.5 ounces, which comes out to, I believe, 3 tablespoons. Yeah. Yeah.
You said 3 tablespoons?
Mhm.
That's a lot more than that.
1.5 ounces. That's what Google said, so.
Trust in the Google.
That's what I had too, Carlee.
3 tablespoons.
Thank you, Dad.
They're big. Tablespoons are surprisingly.
I pour heavy.
Greg, you know what he's talking about,
Are
right?
we all caught up? Are we up to the tequila? And we did the lime juice.
Sorry, for the Nixa, I see in the chat it's 0.25 ounce or
Right.
Okay.
0.25 ounce, because we're gonna do that one next, or a half tablespoon.
Exactly.
We don't do this one yet.
Okay, we can go ahead and move on to it if y'all are ready.
Yeah, I think everyone's ready.
Ready? All
Yeah,
right.
ready for the Nixta, yeah.
0.25. Careful. There we go.
And I also have a quick question. Is everyone adding all of their ingredients into the shorter tin or the bigger tin? I know the European tin is different.
I can't see Dorothy's, so I can't tell on her.
If you guys added all your ingredients to the small
Great.
tin, we are going to take that, move it on over to our larger tin because we're doing something else now, which is going to be muddling a lime.
Greg was ahead of the game.
Ooh, wow. Read the instructions. I like it.
Oh, they only have one. I have 2 European shakers now.
Ooh, okay. We're
You
playing
could
with fire.
you could technically muddle it in a large shaker, and it actually works out because it has.
It's just harder with your hand.
Exactly. You just need a longer muddler.
So everyone, take your lime wedge that I mentioned earlier that we were going to need. If you haven't cut it yet, I understand. We can.
Yeah. And it'll be about like, we'll take one of these. Half of a lime will make 4 wedges.
Four decent wedges, yeah.
So grab one wedge, and you're gonna start muddling.
And I'll muddle. If you want to talk about why we're muddling.
So the reason why we're muddling right now is that we obviously have a lot of ingredients, a lot of them with sugar and sweet factors to them. The intense ginger has slightly, the creme cassis very much, the Nixta as well, or the tortilla now that I'm going to call it. So we are muddling this lime wedge because we need the bitterness from the oils in the rind. The oils in the rind are going to help balance out this cocktail to make it not overly sweet. So that way, I mean, a lot of people do love sweet cocktails, but this is just going to make it much more balanced and rounded.
It also adds just a tiny bit more juice, like an amount that we wouldn't even bother measuring. And that helps add just a bit more acidity to the drink. We tried it with a whole ounce of lime juice last night.
Correct.
And it was just so tart, you could barely drink it.
It almost just became a margarita. So we wanted to make this El Diablo real evil.
Great. So we've got the muddled lime. Once you've muddled the lime, you're going to add your ice to your shaker.
Absolutely. Everyone ready?
And you're going to keep the lime in your shaker when you shake.
Keep the lime.
Greg's not ready for the first time in the whole class.
You want to get our.
Here, I'll
Dorothy,
put
you
some
ready to
space
shake?
for the fire.
Okay, you should teach him how to shake, right?
You guys would like to learn how to
Yes.
shake, so
So.
give it. Actually, I've just been teaching my barback Diego how to shake.
Oh, Greg's got
properly.
a European shaker too. Look at that. You guys are so cultured.
Well, we're using creme de framboise, so it's only. With
Ah,
a
yeah, that's right.
So if everyone's ready, make sure I don't rip this thing.
Okay, are you gonna explain why you shake the way that you shake?
I'm gonna do it first and then explain.
Okay, cool.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go forward, up, back, down, back, up, back, down. Now the reason why we're doing that is we're getting more surface area for the ice to break down in the cocktail. So it's gonna feel awkward at first, and I understand, but it's like making music. You want to find your rhythm.
Vida and Dorothy, that is a really solid effort. But
Wait, just an effort.
but you gotta if you're really bartending, you face the spout towards you, because if you have guests in front of you,
You don't
you're
wanna-
and the cap pops out, then you splash them, and then
I just
you
said
know,
it's a free drink. So
I like that you're in the splash zone if you're at the bar.
there you go. There we go. Oh wow, Dorothy, you're hired. Greg, where are you at? Greg, where's your shake? Oh no, Greg. You got it. Do the spout towards you though. The spout towards you,
Whoops.
Greg. Oh wow. Is that the Macarena?
This is so cold.
Oh wow.
Once you're done shaking your cocktail,
You're gonna want to take it and
pop the
transfer
strainer
it,
on it?
pop the strainer on it, transfer it back to the small tin.
They don't have small tins.
Okay, we're using European shakers.
oh, that's right. Okay.
If you could transfer
Get
it
a
Into
cup.
a separate glass.
Get a cup, yeah.
transfer it to your cup. That way we're not letting the ice sit and water our drink down even more.
Right. And you're not putting it in the cup you're gonna drink out of. You're just putting it in a separate little vessel so it can sit and not accumulate any more water in the cocktail. Because this last step is the really fun one, and you'll want your drinking glass for it. And when everybody's ready, we'll get to the really exciting
I
part.
think everyone's ready and you only have 3 minutes.
Oh, fantastic.
All right,
So
sounds
we're gonna
good.
run through this. You know the ginger that you put in the rum at the very beginning of the class? You're gonna take the pieces out. You can do one at a time, or you can do both of them, or however many you set. I would just do one. That's all you need for a cocktail.
Does everybody
throw a
have their
little on
cedar
there.
board that came
Oh,
with your cocktail
yes.
kit?
Cedar board.
It's not really good.
There you go.
Kinda
That's
like
the
Home
one.
Depot.
I feel like I'm at home with you guys.
So you're
I'm
gonna
loving this.
put your soaked ginger on those planks.
So it'll sit right on there. And
You can also toss a little bit on top of there.
Did you save some of the ginger, Greg? Yeah.
so
Okay.
you can
Cool.
spill a little of that right on top of the board. Be careful not to spill it off the board.
Yeah. Be careful not to spill it off the board. And I can't repeat that enough because you'll set your whole kitchen on fire.
Like this. And then you take a lighter and you light your ginger.
Wait, you forgot the sugar.
We forgot the sugar.
The next, well, before you set it on fire, you're gonna add a little sugar to it. And you'll just set a little
This was a last minute add. We apologize about this.
tiny. So you'll sprinkle a little bit of sugar on your ginger. Not very much, just a touch, so it caramelizes the top of it. Do the honors.
Absolutely.
Light your ginger on fire.
There you go. Did you light it on fire, Greg? Is it working? Oh yeah. And you want to keep, if you want to get more of a caramel on top, you can either use a torch if you have one, or you can keep pouring more rum on top and then keep lighting it on fire. And you'll get a nice caramel. And eventually we want to, once it's caramelized, wow, look at that fire,
Wow,
Jared.
it's gorgeous.
Jesus.
Our sugar
We
is
always
bubbling
say
right
that
on top.
Juan's the pyro, but really it's just me.
So once your piece of ginger starts to kind of fizzle out and all the alcohol's burned out of the rum, you'll actually take your glass and you'll set it on top of the ginger.
There you go. And now that's gonna smolder in there.
It'll smolder in the glass and it'll start to sweat the glass. You'll see like
Some condensation building up throughout.
exactly. You'll even
You
see a
don't-
little smoke
Oh,
coming up.
oh shit. Excuse me. Excuse my French. Greg just caught his whole kitchen on fire. Call the fire department.
Use salt. Use salt.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you have your ginger going pretty strong, you stop the fire by putting the glass over it. It'll take away the oxygen and it'll stop. And then that's gonna smoke the ginger. You're actually sweating the glass rather than smoking it, but we like to say smoking it. And it's all ginger sweat, ginger and rum sweat. That's going to sweat your glass, and it's going to apply a coating of flavor to your glass.
You'll also get a little bit of the cedar flavor in the glass, which is a nice little bonus. So once you feel like your glass is properly sweated, you'll see little water droplets form on the top. You'll just go ahead and take the glass off, flip it over, and you'll pour your cocktail. Oh.
We're gonna add our ice. We're gonna ice down our glass as well.
There we go.
I don't know if everyone has got a
Tea strainer.
But whenever we shake a cocktail, we always want to use a fine strainer to get out those ice chips that will just continue to water down the glass, or water down the cocktail. Pardon me.
Ooh. It should be a beautiful pink color.
We're gonna
Almost like a salmon.
hit the side of the tea strainer just to make sure we get all of the liquid out of it.
And then you'll go ahead and take the last step. You'll take the scorched ginger.
Almost candied now as well.
Set it right on top. And there you have it.
You got it, Greg. All you got to do is pour the cocktail into your glass with ice.
I love these giant glasses.
Oh, there. Ours went down.
Right on.
How's it going? Is everyone enjoying the smell of the
They're
cedar
still
pine?
pouring it out. Wow, that looks great, Vida. That's the right color right there. And you can even use your planks as a serving tray for your drink, especially if it's done a party. Let's see, your lighting is strange. The only way to tell is to taste it, Greg. There you go. Got it? Oh, yeah. Greg's happy.
How is it? Does everybody like it?
Get some feedback on it.
Dorothy, how are you guys doing? Did you?
Ours is totally different.
Ours is really red. I doubled
Really
the
red?
recipe.
Oh, that's too red. You put too
Uh-oh.
much creme de cassis in it.
Yeah, I think I did. Yep.
Oh, bummer.
I doubled the recipe, and I think it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you got lost in translation there.
Yeah. Sorry
You
about
have to make another one. It's all right.
Yeah, you have plenty. I think I gave you enough to make 12 to 13 cocktails. So you
I'd be
you
happy to
Good.
learn, guys.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
have
I-
enough
I-
for
It's very, very. It's sweeter than I'm used to.
Yeah, we try to not make it sweet. I think that the cassis, it goes a long way, and it tricked you. The cassis is very thick.
It's almost like a syrup itself.
And then,
Oh, I see.
yeah.
How is it, Vida?
It's delicious. I
Yeah.
almost want more corn in it, but I'm a little obsessed with the corn.
Good. Oh my God, do a corn float.
Oh, I
That's the
love
best
that.
thing about
Is that allowed? A corn float?
Anything is allowed. You're
I hope
making
you don't mind, I'm
yourself
writing
a
this down.
cocktail. Now, if you come work for me at my bar, I'm gonna give you a spec sheet, and you better learn it.
So,
But
Stay on this side.
so for the creme de,
European shaker.
for the creme de cassis, the instruction was just.
what was that, Dorothy?
Oh, so sorry. For the creme de cassis, how much were we supposed to do? Just a little spoon?
A spoon, like a teaspoon, half a teaspoon.
Half a teaspoon. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely like put twice that much. But
yeah.
it's so delicious.
Good, good. To balance it out, you can add more lime. In fact, I would muddle a couple lime wedges and
Drop 'em in.
muddle them, and then drop in the juice that comes out of that. That'll add bitterness and sourness, and it'll counteract the sweet.
Awesome. Will you send a recording of this so that I can watch it again?
Absolutely.
How is that rum soaked ginger syrup? That's what I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's still gonna be a little
Big-
left in there. So
Greg is giving a thumbs up, and so is his lady. Yeah,
I might have.
awesome.
that's good.
Look at that. Sorry to keep you guys an extra 5 minutes. Do you have any more questions before we?
I have a quick question. Did you guys strain your ginger out of the blended version?
No, we
No.
kept the
No.
raw unfiltered ginger.
Okay.
in
So
there.
for tonight, before I get to a blender tomorrow, I can just reincorporate my ginger into the syrup and then just let it hang out in a jar. Then tomorrow blend it up and then.
As long as you put it in the
I'll
fridge.
get the lid.
Yes. Okay. And I soaked a couple extra gingers in the rum. Is that going to be an issue tomorrow?
No, in fact, it'll soak up the rum and your ginger will caramelize better
Okay.
tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you all. This was wonderful and the pace was perfect. I appreciate that.
Awesome.
We're so happy you're happy.
Thank you guys.
Thanks so much. We're working
Thank
on
you,
number
Greg.
2
Thank you,
right
Dorothy.
now.
Thank you, Vida.
Bye, guys.
Thanks,
so
Megan.
much.
Bye. Thank you.
Happy Cinco de Mayo. Enjoy your El Diablos.
Thank you.